All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are going to talk about the Raiders trolling Patrick Mahomes and his response to it. So, there was a video that was released on social media, and it was of Raiders rookie safety Trey Taylor mocking Mahomes using a Kermit the Frog puppet that was dressed up in a Chiefs jersey, had the hair resembling Mahomes, and they were, from a couple years ago when Mahomes was that clip of Mahomes, and you heard it. Well, not you heard him, but you saw him mouthing, "I'm here," because they were beefing during the game, him and Max Crosby. So they were mocking Mahomes there. Now, Mahomes downplayed the incident. He said it's still early in the year. Stuff like that happens. It'll get handled when it gets handled. He doesn't need additional motivation. They don't need to send me anything to keep me motivated. Now, listen, I thought the video was funny, but I thought it was funny, but at the same time, like, why are you doing that? Why? Why do you think that's a good idea? Now, again, many people probably thought it was funny, but it's just, you're the Raiders, and since Patrick Mahomes has taken over as a starter for the Chiefs, he has a 10-2 record against the Raiders. He has a 66 completion percentage, 5,000 yards passing, 43 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. And you know what? That's a pretty good year for a quarterback. But that's not even a year. That's against a team. That's against one team. And you're doing that. Now, I understand last year, they went into Arrowhead and they beat the Raiders. What was the other time they beat the Raiders? Oh, I think it was during the during the COVID season? Because they also did win in Arrowhead another year too with Derek Carr. But why are you doing that? Now, I understand you do that behind closed doors. Okay, don't let that get out. But what do you? You're just Mahomes says he doesn't need the added motivation, but the Chiefs are gonna remember that. The Chiefs are going to remember that, and the moves they made this offseason between the draft and free agency, including that improving that receiving core. We could see those explosive plays back in a big way against the Raiders, let me tell you. Seeing Xavier Worthy and Marquise Brown just, running streaks down the field. And Mahomes throws like 6 touchdowns against them or something. I know we did a segment earlier this offseason where, Antonio Pierce was talking about the strategy that they have for Mahomes. But listen, it's a new year. The Chiefs are going to be better. Last year was not a great year for Mahomes in terms of, the regular season. But, of course, they, went on and won the Super Bowl, so it really didn't matter. But now, the Chiefs are going to be better. They're going to be back to that, kind of offense that they had when Tyreek Hill was on the team. And if that's the case, the NFL's in trouble. And the Raiders are in trouble. Because 43 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, that's the touchdown to interception ratio against one team. That is going to improve exponentially with what the Raiders decided to do. Now, again, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just, there's a time and place. This is not the time or place. Because Mahomes owns the Raiders. He does. And you're only just adding more to that fire with what you're doing. Again, you do it behind closed doors, okay, but to let that get out and be posted all over, because that stuff travels. It's all over the place. And if you don't think the Chiefs are going to do anything about it, you're mistaken, because they're going to let their game do the talking. I don't think you should mock the Chiefs. I mean, look at the Bengals. Burrowhead. What ended up happening? Loss. Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Last year, Deion Dawkins talking about, oh, yeah, Mahomes has never played on the road. He's never played in Buffalo with the full crowd. Loss. Listen, and trash talking is a part of the game, and we understand that. But you also got to back it up. Those teams did not back it up. The Raiders got to back it up. Now, I'm talking about the playoffs when it comes to the Bengals and the Bills. The Raiders, it's been a couple years since they made the playoffs. And, right now, I mean, I don't think the Raiders are going to be an awful team. They have talent on this roster. And I think they're going to have, they're going to be around 500. I don't know if they're going to finish over 500. I think they're going to be a little bit below it. But, this is regular season beef that these teams have. This doesn't extend into the postseason. But you just, I don't think it was a smart move on their part to do that. Especially because Patrick Mahomes is, the best quarterback in the NFL. And he's only going to improve those numbers against the Raiders. Now, I'm not saying they got to, kiss his feet, but it's not smart. It's not smart. Because, yeah, he said it, doesn't need any motivation. You want to give him more motivation to go out there and run up the score against you guys if he has the opportunity to do so? I don't think you want that. But, yeah, I'm not saying the Raiders should just kiss his feet. No. But why do you have to do that? There's no point in doing that. And somebody asked Mahomes at Media Day, during the Super Bowl, can you do an impression of Kermit? And he said, you're hearing it right now with me talking, or something along the lines of that, which I thought was funny. Like, Mahomes knows. He knows. He's self-aware with people making those comparisons. But I don't know why. I don't know what the point of that is. Now, if the Raiders go into Arrowhead on Christmas again and they win, then you're going to see that Kermit the Frog puppet being, thrown up in the air in celebration. But yeah, just not the best move by the Raiders. But listen, Mahomes doesn't care. It's going to get handled when it gets handled, and it's going to get handled when the Chiefs take on the Raiders. Let's see. So they play them on Christmas. I forget what week. Oh, no, they don't play on Christmas. They play on Black Friday. My bad. That's the Black Friday game. I apologize for that. They played on Christmas last year. They play on Black Friday this year. So these two teams, they play each other week 8. Now, that's in Vegas. That's a 4:25 start Eastern Time on CBS. And then they play week 13 on Black Friday. So that's November 29th. And that's 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's on Amazon. So it'll get handled week 8 in Vegas. And then after that on Black Friday, like I said. But that just, listen, I mean, it adds some sort of something to the fire. Again, not the worst thing in the world. The Raiders, like I said, they don't have to kiss his feet. But it's just, why do you got to do that? Why do you got to do that? Why and post it on social media? Why do you think that's a good idea? Because, you're just asking for the Chiefs to come in and embarrass you. But that's just my opinion. I still thought it was funny, but it would be funny if, it's me and a few of my friends playing around with the Kermit the Frog puppet and, talking like Patrick Mahomes with it. But, it's another thing when you got a division rival doing it to Mahomes. But that's what they decided to do. So that's really my thoughts on it. But, yeah, so let me know what you guys think about that. How'd you feel about it when you saw it? The video. It's all over the place. You could find it. and then you could see Mahomes' response as well. But we do have a game this week. Thursday, Hall of Fame game. Again, I mean, the starters aren't going to play in this, but you know what? It's a game. We have an NFL game, and from now until February. So, well, actually, no, there's like that. But no, we got college football still. So you got that. You got that with the NFL. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and this has been a long off season, and I appreciate the patience because it was tough at times to think about it, to come up with things, and I know I've been repetitive on topics, whether it's guys looking for a new contract, and you got the draft and free agency, but it's just want to get to games, and we are getting to that point, and we are gonna talk about it all, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. This year's gonna be a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the start of the season. So but yeah, Thursday we got a game, and we'll definitely talk about it. Kind of get an idea of who's playing in the game, because it's not gonna, you're not gonna see Caleb Williams against C.J. Stroud. You're not gonna see that, but you will see that in the regular season when they do play each other. So, but yeah, exciting times. We're getting to that point. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in today. Make sure to check out all the other shows, and yeah, so with that, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.